What's up, Transformers fans? This is Stan Stevens, and in today's video, this is going to be my spoiler review for Transformers The Last Night. I managed to watch it today, and I tell you now, the film is mind-blowing and awesome. To me, I think it's mind-blowing. But watching the film, there was bits I did say, oh, it looked good, didn't like it, but they could improve. But I thought the story was really good, and really twists and moments. I thought the plot was really a good one. Now, I'm going to try... This kind of spoiler review is going to be different to the ones I've done before with Marvel ones and when I did my 4th Transformers film. I'm not going to try to go through every bit in straight order. I'm going to try to cover the bits that, that would really just sound important for the spoiler video. So, yeah. So, I'm going to try and make it a little bit longer, around like 20 or 25 minutes. I'll see how it goes. But, anyway, before I do start to the spoilers, if you don't want to know any spoilers yet, and you want to see the film first, leave now, and then when you do see it, come back here and you can give your thoughts about it as well in the comments, like what your thoughts and theories, and what you think of it. And anyway, let's go on then. I do want to start off first with the beginning, and that's the medieval scene. Now that was good how they opened this up. It was really good when they showing us the past, like with the medieval fight. With King Arthur and a bunch of other soldier groups, and really there was a big fight going on. I love it that it was one of those moments in the films like when they hit with the group, the good side, they think, oh, we're not going to win and everything. But luckily, Merlin managed to get the help of the knights with Dragonstorm to really help them to defeat the battle. Now, upon that, we come across that there's one knight who's Dragonless, who's part of the, as I said, the knights, and we heard about he's one of the combiners of Dragonstorm, gives Merlin the staff that he has, what we saw in the pictures, and, we learned that, it can change size, so it goes small a bit for proper human staff, but that was pretty cool. Now, that bit was really awesome, as I said, how they handled that. That was really good how they opened that bit up. And this time around, we don't get Optimus speaking in the beginning. No, this time it's Sir Edmund, played by Sir Anthony Hopkins. He speaks up in the film. Now, next parts now, I'm going to try, this, as I said, now I'm going to go on to, mention different plots in the film. So let's start off with our Autobot one then. And Cade. So what we find out is Cade has been on the run with the Autobots, and they're being chased by the TRF. They're the group who are responsible to hunt down Transformers. And Cade really, and these Autobots, are on a mission in the Chicago area. And what it is him, Bumblebee, and Hound. And what they learn that there's a robot there. And Cade goes to this one bot. And it's a Cybertronian one, what the kids found, and really this night it's Stillbane, and man, he looks very damaged, and he looks like he's about to die. But then he gives him something important called the Tamrid. That's it, the Tamus. It's like a coin circle thing. It was like what we saw in the one of the trailers. So Stillbane gives him the tablet, I'm sure that's what you call it, to Cade, but Cade refused that really. But later on in the film, it does come to Cade and jumps on him and becomes part of him. And it is really a shocking thing what that thing is. Now, also a part of it, we jump to them later on. I'm just going on with Cade and Autobots, and I'll mention some of the other humans as well. We jump to them with them at the junkyard, and they do have a good story about that. We find out that the bots have been hiding in this junkyard, and we got Drift, Crosshairs, Hound. Then we got some other ones like Mini-Dinobots, Mini Grimlock, Slug, and Strafe. Also, normal size Grimlock and Slug are there. Strafe and Scorn are missing out of this film, and they don't really explain where they are. They don't really explain where on earth are they. It's really a strange one, really. I mean, then we get to introduce another bot later on. It's a guy named Day Trader, And we found out he's been voiced by the bloke who did the voice of that's it, Randall from Monsters Inc. and Monsters University. I'm sure that's his name. The one who can make himself invisible and or camouflage to anything, to the environment. But you know what I mean. I'm on about. Yeah. And we learned that his plot was he was actually like he kind of gives Cade some stuff like Cybertronian stuff. And I want to mention this funny Easter egg. He actually has Starscream's head, and really it's so hilarious because he says, "Hey, look, I found Starscream's head." Now the one thing that was odd was the head was not all the parts were there, because I remember in Dark of the Moon bits of his head got destroyed, so that was pretty confusing. But I don't know what that was about. But that was his part of the film. Now when it came to Easy and Sqweeks, they were like good characters. They did have a good part of the film. It wasn't like their major role in the film they had, but they were good for the story really. Sqweeks, that's the broken down Autobot who still gets around, but he can only say Chihuahua. And Livy, who lost her family. Apparently, we heard she lost her family in the Chicago battle, and she's been on the streets since then. So, because in the film she's 14, so she's been on the streets since then. Then that gets all taken away later on. That place does when Megatron and his crew come along, and that ends up badly, really. But hey, the fight sequence is good. I mean, Hound does his attempt to try and get Megatron, but that doesn't end up well, really. Later on, when it comes to the this battle in this banded area, they do kill some of the Decepticons, really. Like one called Mohawk, who's a bike ride. He gets killed by Bumblebee. Well, I don't know if you can call it kill, really, because we see him get shot by Bumblebee, and then his head's just still talking. So I don't know if they confirm him dead. Onslaught got killed, and I'm not really happy about that one. I'm not really happy about that, because I thought you could use him in the future for the Combaticons, but that's gone out of the way. But the one who killed him was Driv and Crosshairs. Oh, Mohawk. Mohawk was a funny character in it. He swore and everything, and when he took over that, I was like, oh come on! I was getting used to that character, so that was a disappointment. Dreadbot was killed by Grimlock. Grimlock ate him and all that. But the only ones who managed to survive that battle was Nitro, Zeus, Barricade, and Megatron. They managed to survive that. Then we get to meet Cogman there, and he introduces himself and explains about the tablet. Explains what it is a bit. Well, he doesn't really explain. He just says that he won't leave you until the task is complete. Then them offer to go to England, and that's what they do. Well, here Cogman takes Cade and Bumblebee with him to England. Then when we get to England, we get introduced to Vivi, who is Vivi, the female, who becomes the love interest of Cade later, and in her life, we find that she's always been watched over by Hotwad, who is also who's law with Sir Edmund. And first, Hotwad's got like two different vehicle modes. He's got an old vehicle. I'm not pretty sure of the names because I'm not that good with vehicle names. But later on, when he reveals himself to her, he scans that the Lamborghini. I think that's what he called. No, was it Lamborghini? What Lockdown was? Well, something like what Lockdown had, but the updated version. But I tell you now, when he speaks, he's got a good speaking. Well, he does. When I first saw the clip when he spoke, I wasn't sure about that French accent he had. But when you watch the film, he has a good French accent. Like some of the times you don't really hear the accent, but he's really cool, and he is funny. He does have a good role in it. He really has a good role. Then when we meet them, and then Sir Edmund does explain to Cade and Libby what's going on about the whole thing. It says he's part of this organisation that, learn about the Transformers history, who always know they have been here and everything, and also know why they keep coming here. And we do get a moment when we see Bumblebee in the past with Hotwad in World War II, and we learn he was actually a badass warrior. like he killed Nazis and everything, but that all was gone after that war was done. And we also, when I saw the film, I learned that he had the battle hammer with him. Now, I know that was an odd thing with it, because I thought he gets it in the present day, like in this film, but he had it in that time. But I don't know where that's been from the last 4 films, but that was really odd, really. Then we learned that actually Vivi is a descendant of Merlin, like she's part of the Merlin bloodline, and we learned that the staff can only respond to her. So that was pretty shocking. Then they went on the journey to try and find where the staff is, but they're getting chased by the TRF with it. Then we get they find out, they say they're going to go underwater, but they're going to get a submarine and look at it, get one. It turns out it's a transformer, but it doesn't have a name really. But Sir Edmund doesn't join them on that bit, because he says he's part of that bit's done, and he feels like he got more to do. Then they are underwater, and I tell you, there is a funny moment in that. Cogman gets out of the submarine and he grabs some 2 fish, and what he does is he cuts them for dinner for Cade and Vivi, and he sets it like a date, and it's so funny on that. Now, when we get to the submarine, they try to look around for the staff and all that. And they do find Merlin's grave down there, because they find out that Merlin's buried down there. And it's with the staff. And we do get to find the staff. And it turned out to be wood. And it was really when you think moment we were like, well, that's it. What the hell? It's a stick. It looks like a stick. And Cade was like, oh, we came here for nothing and all that. Now, I want to jump to the Decepticon and Optimus Prime story part of the film now, before we carry on by that bit. So we'll start with Optimus' story bit. So Optimus, been in space, he's gone on to find the creators. And originally, he actually does go to the planet Cybertron. He actually goes back home. When he gets back, he realised that the planet's really been destroyed. Destroyed and damaged. And we get to introduce to Quintessa, who is the creator of them. Who created the Transformers. And really, she really tortured Optimus, she did. Optimus was going to kill her, because, well, before he nearly got the sword on her, he said, what have you done to my planet? And that nearly ended up bad. But then Quintessa stopped her and was starting to explain to him about the past, really, and what's she up to. And now we learned about the red paint on Optimus's face. We learned that Quintessa did that to him. It turns out when she smacked him, that's when the red mark came. So that was pretty shocking. And also there we get introduced to the Infernocons, who are in their combined form of Infernocons, and he was a badass, he was. More on to that. Also, before I move back to the Optimus bit, in the cargo bay, after B, Hound and Bumblebee left, we're dealing with the TRF. Barricade was there at the time, and after they were gone, Barricade went to Megatron, and he was there as well. And now I'll say this now. They don't explain why Megatron is back as Megatron. Like, why Galvatron got the name Megatron. And also how he got his body. But I will have my theories like after what I've done talking about the plot and everything. But anyway, what happened was, he was asking Barricade, like, did you get the tampment? And Barricade went like, I'm sorry, I couldn't because of the TRF. And Megatron really got angry about it. And he had a flamethrower, so we got confirmed was that he got a flamethrower. But Barricade had an idea about we should talk to the TRF. So then later on in the film, they do. They talk to the TRF. Well, they talk with Lennox. And he says, because what he was, actually Lennox and the gunman he's with, they said we need to talk to Megatron because there are these horns popping out of nowhere, cis horns. And I will get to that in a minute, what the horns were. And they said that Megatron's the only one who knows about this. So they say, let's talk to him and see what he knows. And Megatron said, I will tell you, but only in one condition. And he says, I need my crew. And that's when we get introduced to the bots. And so so first one, it shows on Mohawk. As I said, he is so funny. When you see him, he goes on about like, hey, I'm going to kill you. And he goes like, oh, I'll kill you later. I'm going to kill both of you later. It was so funny. So he was first shown. Then next, Nitro Zeus, and he was so funny. He was like, hey, he was like that, and he was like, I'm getting free. Megatron thinks about me. Something like that. It was like, I'm getting free. And this is one best moment of my life that the Decepticon has ever said to a human. He goes like, hey, say hi to your wife for me. And then the prop just gives him a one finger up. I'm like, damn. But Nitro is the best character in the film. He's really good in the film, he is. Then also we get introduced to Dreadbot. And he's got like a bad record, he does. He's killed a lot of humans and everything. So they allow him to come along. Then they were talking about, can we have Berserker? And he's in the film, but the sad thing is, he doesn't get released. You hear him talk and he says, I'm going to kill you. And he doesn't get released. And that's the end of him. And then the last one they got out was Onslaught. And he spoke a little bit, but they let him loose, so that was good. So the deal was made, and Megatron, well, told him that I need to get the Well, they say the deal was made. I'm trying to remember what happened after that. Like, did he tell him something? But they say the deal went down like, I got my crew back. And he did say, and then the TIF wanted him and his group to find the Autobots. That's when he came to the Jungle attack. So that happened. Then when he comes to the empty city, Nitro and Mohawk, when they first landed, they go like, hey, we're here in town and all that. And then, as I explained, what happened then. Then after that, where did we jump with those guys later? Oh, then we jumped to Barricade later, and he was in UK, and he had a fight with Bumblebee on the streets. Not in Warbot versus Warbot modes, but like driving-wise. And they don't have a big fight, that's the bit I wasn't happy about. Like, I was expecting a revenge story for Barricade, you know, to attack Bumblebee, you know. But in robot form, and say, this is, you're gonna get it, B, this is my revenge, or, well, we wouldn't say nothing like that, but you get what I mean. But no, that doesn't happen, that's the sad thing. Then, also with it, we learned that, Megatron's got the, red paint on him. Just like Optimus, but I will get to that then in a bit, because I want to jump back to the, back to Optimus now and Quintessa. Now, on their arrival to planet Earth with Cybertron, Quintessa explains to Optimus that, and this includes the horns I was on about, he explains that the horns, and he says Earth is Unicron? And I was like, what? Yeah, I was like shocked and angry a little bit. Now, if you never know this, it turns out that they took the Transformers Prime version of Unicron and put it into the live action like that. Yeah, because in Transformers Prime the series, Unicron in that version, he was actually Earth. Well, Unicron became the planet Earth, and that was pretty a shock. So they did the same thing for this. But I don't know. I was really hoping that to see in the future that him and his, eating planet form and see him transform. But I don't know. I don't think we'll see that now because of that. But who knows? But anyway, what Quintessa's plan was she wanted to get the stab back. The Cybertronian stab, because before she mentions about Unicron, Earth's Unicron, she explains that the Knights of Cybertron used to belong to her. They used to be with her. But then they betrayed her and took the staff away from her, so she couldn't use it she couldn't use it for evil. So her plot was, she wanted to get the staff so she can use it to kill Unicron. That's what the whole big deal was. And also the ship, underwater ship, was part of the plan as well. And when she tells him to go and get the staff, she says to him, Nemesis Prime. So Optimus becomes Nemesis Prime. And that's a pretty shock, that is. Pretty shock. Now, also with it, we also learn later on that Megatron is working with Quintessa as well. So, that was a pretty shock with it. Now, he wasn't like in the state of mind control. He only the paint on him just meant like he was a servant, like he was helping her. He wasn't a slave to her. Now let's jump back to the underwater bit then. So, we jump to the bit when, after Cade and Vivi get these staff, Cybertron, one of the knights, wakes up and says, protect the staff, and he tries to kill both of them. But then the TRF guys came along and really shoot him. And that was really a bad thing. It was really sad because he was gone and dead. He was completely gone. Then other knights woke up Next thing is Optimus came and saved them, really. But he was an Nemesis Prime. And then he asked Vivi to give him the staff, and Bumblebee was in shock to see him like this. Even Cade was. And then after that happened, Bumblebee and Nemesis Prime had a fight, and the fight went big, and it was awesome. And it was everything. Like Optimus was bashing him. Well, actually, Nemesis Prime was bashing him. Bumblebee was hitting him with the hammer, and the battle was getting sick. It was. Now with it, but at one point, Cade was trying to get him out of this control and trying to tell him that, what are you doing? This isn't you and all that. Now, near the end of the fight, Optimus was about to stab B with his hidden blade. And then Bumblebee talked. He actually spoke, not using the radio. And he goes like, it's me, Bumblebee, something like that. He says like, I know, something. He goes on about, I know you want to do this or something like that. But he goes like, I would die for you, that kind of thing. And Optimus stops, and he becomes optimistic. Well, he becomes himself again. And I was like, wow, that's a good moment. And I thought that moment for B was good. And then after that calmed down, Megatron and Nitro came out of nowhere and took Optimus down. And Nitro said a funny line. He goes like, you failed to kill Unicron. And I was like, whoa. He's making a funny line. And then Megatron grabbed the staff. And looks like he was going to carry on. He was going to do the job for Quintessa, and he does. He takes the staff. Then we see the Knights coming along and beat the crap at Optimus and say, you betrayed us. This is your judgment, because he was working with Quintessa. And also, we learned that the talisman, I think I'm saying it right, on Cade, it transforms into the sword. So that sword we saw in the pit, behind the scenes, turned out to be the talisman. And whoa, that was pretty cool. And then the Knights stopped fighting Optimus. And then it becomes the moment where all the Autobots come together to take on Quintessa and Megatron and his group. Technically the remaining ones. But Megatron, Nitro, Zeus and Barricade, well, before they went to to meet Quintessa, they went to the Stone Edge. And it turns out it was like he says it was like a portal, but it wasn't a portal. Really. I think it was supposed to be like the bit that can destroy Unicron. Like that's the area you can attack Unicron. And Sir Edmund was there, and he was preparing to fire at them, and he did. He fired them with his walking stick, turned it into a gun. That was awesome. But sadly, Megatron shot him, and he wasn't going to last long. But the soldiers, you see him attacking them as well. But the one thing is, you don't see Barricade after that. You don't see him die or anything. But it looks from that Barricade survived, so we'll see him again in the future. So, but Megatron and Nitro Zeus went to meet up with Quintessa. She got the staff, and well, Megatron says it's time to get my troops. And then they start attacking the Autobots and the Knights and the humans, because they jump on the Knights Templar ship and they go on the bit of the planet there. And then we learn that the Knights of Cybertron, all those Knights combine into Dragonstorm. Not just Dragonless and Stormway, no. There was more than those two. There was like them and the other 12, and I was like, whoa. So really, Dragonstorm is a troll bot, 14 bot really, if you add Dragonless and Stormway. So that was a big one, and that was a badass scene where they fight. And the big battle is good when the Autobots fight the Decepticons. That was a good one. The Infernocons were really big in that battle. You see him like separate first, and then Megatron ordered them, and he said Infernocons combine, and I was like, oh my god, he just said that. And you see him combine, and he's badass. And then Optimus takes him out, as we saw in the trailers. And the final battle that the Autobots had was with Megatron and Quintessa. And you saw the bots taking on Megatron. You can see Hound firing at him and trying to get him down. You saw Hotwad getting him. And he used one, and part of his gun, Hotwad, he's got this shield thing, and he can freeze the enemies. And whoa, it was badass it was when he did that. When Hound shot his guns and they just shot at him, shot with Megatron when the bubble was gone. Then Vivi was trying to get to the staff, and Quintessa ordered Megatron to kill her. But then Optimus came out of nowhere and chopped Megatron's arm off with a cannon, because Bumblebee, before that bit, jumped on him and he got him off and he was about to shoot him, and then that happened. I was like, oh come on! I thought at that point Optimus was going to kill him, and I was like, you whipped his arm again? I was like, that's the second time Megatron's lost that side of the arm. And then the last moment we had with Megatron was he got Optimus on the ground with his sword near to him. He goes like, "We were brothers once," and Optimus went like, "Once," and he didn't kill him. What he did, he really hit him and got him off the area where Quintessa was. So he was off Cybertron and he must have landed on Earth and really won away. So we'll see him again in the future. And then Optimus has a fight with Quintessa, not a long one, and Quintessa stops him, but he goes like, Optimus goes like, "Say hello to my friend, Bumblebee." And Bumblebee blasts her and she's gone. And then he goes like, "Sting like a bee." And I thought that was cool. So in the end, Vivi takes the staff and they stop, and Cybertron stops attacking Earth. Well, Unicron really, and they really saved the day really. And that was a good victory. That was like a victory moment for the Autobots, and I was glad for that. Oh, excuse me. And when he came to the final bit, so Optimus gave a speech in the end, and he said about legends, you know, we can create new legends, like that kind of stuff. And what happened there was Optimus and the bots were all going back to Cybertron. Like every Autobot was going back, and even Bumblebee did. But before he left, he talked to Cade and said, "You saved Optimus's life," and gave like a thingy to him. And I was like, whoa. And it was sad really, because Optimus was getting every Autobot in the night, and they were all going back to Cybertron. He even gave the message to the ones who were not with him. He says, "It's time to come home." Because he says, our worlds, we need to rebuild our worlds, and we need to work together to do that. And I'm like, oh. And then you see Cybertron moving away a little bit, but I don't know if he's actually going back to the solar system when he was, or is he moving away a little bit, but they're still going to be close together. Now, when the credits roll up, we do get a scene. We see a bunch of humans by one of the Unicron horns, one of those horns, and Quintessa is there, but she's in human form, and she tells one human, "Don't touch it. He doesn't like it when you touch him." And then he goes like, "How about if I can tell you how you can kill him?" And you see her skin glow, and then you see Unicron's horn like moving a bit. And that really ends the film there. So, you know, I would say now, for more of this, I thought the film was good. I thought the story bit was alright. As I said, the bits I was on about, they look good. Bits I thought I didn't like was one, Onslaught. I thought he didn't really talk much, and well, he didn't survive it, because I wanted to see a Cabalacon team turn into Bruticus. But that's not going to happen now. Berserker, I wasn't happy about that as well, but I'm hoping he comes back in the next one. The Barricade bit, yeah, he managed to talk in the film, but the problem was, I was expecting a story from him, when, as I said, him versus Bumblebee, like a lot of that, but you never got that. But if he is alive, I hope they can do that in a future film. What else I wasn't happy about? As I said with Unicron, okay, I wasn't really proud on that Unicron bit, you know, he turned out that Unicron's Earth, but I know, maybe it could work, but I don't know. But maybe what Unicron could do is, if when he comes back a lot online, he could find a way to detach himself from Earth and create himself a body, you know. So when he does that, we see him create a body, and when he's in his planet form, and then when it comes to that film, we see him turn into his robot form, and maybe that's what they might be doing. But I can't see that happening. I don't see that one happening. But if they are going with him and he's actually just staying as Earth, maybe they could find a way that maybe he just creates his own body when using, I don't know, using like dead robots and build himself. I don't know how they could do it. In the Prime version, he used some rocks to make his own body, but I don't see him doing that. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me on that. But who knows? Until when he gets makes appearance again in the film, and we online and talks, then we'll know what's going on. Now another thing, I have a theory, as I was on about earlier about Megatron, of how did Galvatron manage to get a new body, starting to work with Quintessa, and why he went back as Megatron? So, first one. He must have followed Optimus after he left Earth. He must have followed him like into space. And somehow he must have got to Cybertron very quickly he did. And met up with Quintessa, and Quintessa must have said to him, look, I want to do this plan and I got to bring Cybertron back. And he says, if you do this for me, only way you want to do it, I'll give you this body. And Megatron agrees on the plan. You know, he agrees on it. Well, Galvatron really. So Quintessa builds him this new body, and he transfer his consoles to that body. So he gets it, and then maybe when he looks at himself, he goes like, maybe I should not be calling myself as Galvatron in this form. I will go back as Megatron. And that could explain that. And maybe Quintessa just gives him a smack, and that's where the word mark comes from of his. Or maybe she just does that, touches him, and maybe she could do that, but in that way. I don't know. I'm not pretty sure. Now, I want to go on about what could be happening next for the future now. I mean, because next year now, we've got the Bumblebee prequel, and then we've got some other ones. Well, the Bumblebee prequel, that'll be all about Bumblebee, really, about his past. We learned that it's going to be based in 1985, well, in the 80s, really. The next film, like the sixth one, it could continue with the Unicron thingy, but I don't know, but I think it will. And then we got the Transformers 1, that's called that's the Cybertron prequel film when it's animated, so that would be cool. And I don't know about the other ones. I think they're going to try to do some other spin-off character ones if the Bumblebee one does good. What else is there? Really, that's there's nothing much we can think of what would happen next. Now, to give this film-wise, as I said, I'd say it's good, but there was some bits, as I said, improvements. I'm not pretty sure what I could give it. I'll give it like a 8 out of 10, 7 out of 7. I'll just say it's good with it. I'll just give it, it's a good film with it. So, yeah, that's really it, guys. As I want to say now, if you just forgot, all the stuff I mentioned, like the plot, that's not all in order. As I said, I was doing like the humans first, then I was doing, well, human Autobot bit first, then I was doing the Optimus Prime story part, and then the Decepticon part one. I wanted to do it like that. And just thought to say that. Now, also, if you want to keep up with news, you know, of the Transformers, like picture-wise, I'll be down in the description below on me Transformers Cinema Around the Universe page, Facebook page. After you see this, please put your comments down below about the film. What do you think? Do you think it was good? Did you not like it? Do you have any bits I can improve on? And give your theories, like on the film from watching this film. Theories on anything, what could this lead for the future, and think up and discuss about what could happen in the future now. And I really want to discuss about this. Also, give this a thumbs up. Share this out to your friends so I get more viewers and subscribers. And if you're new, this is what I do. I do a Transformers and Marvel Cinematic Universe news, TV spots, clips and trailer reactions, really. And for these ones, I do spoiler reviews. Now, trailer and clips, I tend to do those when they come around. TV spots, when it's only a couple of weeks away, I don't do those kind of ones because they release spoilers. And that's for those ones. And if you want to see my last Transformers video, click right here. My channel, click here. Make sure you click the bell so you can be notified when the new videos are up. And here for my last Marvel video. So yeah, this is it, guys. I mean, everything for Transformers 5 is done. I've done all the news and the spoiler review now, and really, this is the end of it. Now, I'll say this now, if I do get to remember bits I didn't discuss in this, I'll do another video about those and really discuss about them. So yeah, that's everything, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this spoiler review video. Thank you for watching. See you again soon. Peace.